Welcome everyone to another episode of Into the Pit. I have here Miss Denisa Augustinova.
Hi, guys.
I said it right.
Yes, yes, you did.
Okay, I've invited her here. She's in Slovakia, and
Yes.
the reason why I invited her on the show, I ran across one of her YouTube videos where she does. It's called Sofa Stories,
Yes,
and
yes.
anyway, I'm gonna let you explain it a little bit further, but just real quick, it has to do with mystery kind of stuff, and I'm gonna let her explain exactly what it is she does.
Yes, so hi guys, my name is Denisa and my channel's name is Sofa Stories because I have kind of a statement sofa in my bedroom. It's purple. So I thought that would be a great name to get on my YouTube channel, and I mainly film true crime, but I filmed also one conspiracy theories video, which was pretty interesting. And what about me? I'm 20 years old. I live in Slovakia, which is a state in the middle of Europe. If you don't know where it is, Slovakia is a beautiful country, and I would highly suggest to visit one day if you have the opportunity. And I think that I want my channel to be mainly about true crime, and I want to cover more cases that aren't as known as like for example, the Madeleine Mccann case that is all over the news for I don't know how many years, but a lot of years. And I try to focus on that. And I think that's like the briefest description of my channel that I can give.
Well, the main question is what in the world got you into that doing that kind of story?
I think that the first video I saw was about the Van Breda family. This was like a massive murder of one family in South Africa. And the woman who did this video was Bella Fiore. I'm sure you know her. She's from Australia, and I started watching her and I binged the whole playlist she had in a couple of days. And since then, true crime kind of grew into me, and I love that. And I wanted to do YouTube videos for such a long time, and this was like an opportunity sent to me almost. So I think that this is something that is gonna be interesting for me for a really long time.
So, how do you do your research?
Mainly on the internet, and I also try to listen to podcasts because there are a lot of information
Mm-hmm.
and other YouTube videos, and I mainly go to YouTube videos around here in Slovakia or in Czech Republic because those information aren't that known in America or Britain or Australia, and people here do really good research, so that's kind of my source too.
Okay. So I got to ask you, do you have the American show Unsolved Mysteries over there?
I don't think we have that, no.
Okay, you need to look that up because I think you would enjoy it. It's an older show.
Hmm.
I think maybe Netflix is bringing it back. I'm not sure, but I mean,
Yes.
it had been on for years and years. But look that up. I think you'd really
Yeah,
enjoy it.
I'll try to look it up on Netflix, but I'm not sure if it is on European Netflix too, but I maybe try NordVPN or something.
I was going to
Everyone
say,
talks about that.
do VPN. You can go to any country you
Yeah.
want to if you have a VPN. So,
Yeah, maybe I'll try that. Yeah, everyone talks about it, so I mean, it must work.
what do your friends think about all that?
My friends are actually helping me a lot, which is really sweet. My I can call him a best friend. He's doing the thumbnails for me, and he really tries to share the videos too because I tend to share the videos to get more views and subscribers, and he does that too, so that's very helpful.
Okay, so you do have social media that you share that out on?
Yeah, I have Facebook, and I'm in a lot of true crime groups and in groups that are connected with this theme. And a lot of people share there, and I have come across many mysteries and many cases that I have covered. For example, the Blanche Monnier case that I did, the girl that was locked up, I found that there. So it is pretty helpful to look up new cases to cover.
Yeah, I think you did a story that had to do with San Antonio, Texas, didn't you?
San Antonio, that was the girl that was killed by the policeman. I think that was San Antonio, Texas.
As many podcasts and
Oh,
videos as I watch, I can never remember which one's which, but
yeah.
I I thought it involved a young boy, but I don't remember.
Wait, San Antonio, yes. It got to me now. San Antonio was Nicholas Barkley.
That was it. That was the
Yes, it was
I
the
remember.
imposter one. Yeah, that was actually the second video that I have ever watched from Bella, and it interested me so much.
Well, you'll be interested to know that I live about an hour away from San Antonio.
And you know about that case?
Actually, I did
Uh,
not know until I saw your video.
wow,
I had not heard
really?
of it. Mm-hmm.
Because this case is worldwide, I think, now, because the imposter, Frederick, he was from France. So it is known in Europe too. And I thought that everyone knew of that is in this territory.
Yeah, what year did that happen?
Uh, Before 2000, around 1993 or 6.
I was probably drunk at the time. What are you working on right now, if I don't mind, or you don't mind me asking?
Yes, currently I'm working on a case that I also found in the true crime groups,
Mhm.
and I think I can spoil that. It is about a newborn baby that was stolen from hospital. And I think that the whole thing, it turned out from a really big misunderstanding, maybe, and how they do. I don't want to say too much information. I can't come up with the words I want to say, but um, the parents whose daughter was stolen back then, they come across her in a pretty surprising way. So I suggest a lot of people later to watch it. I think that it will be up Saturday or Sunday. And
Mm,
it's pretty interesting, and I've never heard about that.
okay, when this is over, we got to talk about a few other cases that you might want to talk about. Now,
Yes, sure.
I mean, you do talk about those that have been solved, but
Yes.
have been, a long time mystery until somebody finally solved it. Okay.
Yes, because I hate unsolved cases. I hate that so much. I need to have a conclusion at the end. I Even the Nicholas Barkley case, it was unsolved. It still is unsolved because we don't know what happened to him or where he is. But I think that the family have come to peace with it, and that's a conclusion for me.
Mm.
But I can't cover an unsolved case. That's just too much for me.
Yeah, you like me. I can't stand when something's not finished. I have to see it
Yes,
finished
yes,
all the way
yes.
to the end.
And I'll try to come up with like different ideas where they are or what happened to them. And I hate that I can't just compare it to the reality.
I totally get that. So, have you thought about like ghost stories and that kind of stuff?
I hate that so much. I hate ghosts, but I respect them. I respect every paranormal being or creature, and I don't want to get into that. I don't want to invade their privacy or something like that. So I want to leave them where they are.
Are you
I
sure
don't even watch horror movies and anything like that. I'm scared. I'm scared.
that you're talking about my favorite pastime, ghost hunting?
Yeah? What? No. Why?
Yeah.
Why would someone do that?
Yeah, it's another one of those. I got to know what's out there. It's one of those mysteries that I do believe people have actual evidence of the afterlife or
Yeah,
paranormal beings.
definitely. Definitely, I think afterlife is a real thing. I hope it is because I can't imagine after death being dead that there's nothing. I can't imagine that. But I respect all of the paranormal beings, and I don't even go to like in old buildings and and stuff like that. I'm scared.
Let's see,
I'm a little girl. I'm scared.
I'm more scared of the living than I am the dead. Just saying.
Oh, that's an interesting one. You're kind of right.
Hey, I mean, look what you're dealing in, true crime, and look at some of the people that are in there. They seem a lot more dangerous than any ghosts out there. Now there are
They
some
are
ghosts.
monsters.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
those people that we talk about in these solved or unsolved cases, they aren't people, they are monsters and serial killers. And I think these serial killers have some kind of mental illness because everyone in the end has some kind of mental illness, and that doesn't excuse them, of course, but
True.
they have kind of twisted minds, so they don't think like normal people. But people who just kill once, I don't know, those are monsters for me. Those aren't people.
Oh yeah. Well, look at you like John Wayne Gacy and all these other guys. It was an addiction, and once they got that
Yeah.
first one out of the way, then it just got easier and easier and easier, and then it was
And more addictive.
yeah, exactly. It's just like with drugs or alcohol or anything
Yeah.
else. You get addicted to it, and you just want more and more and more, and it
Yeah.
gets grosser and grosser and grosser as it goes along because just like doing drugs, you have to have something stronger each time. It's
Yeah, I recently watched a video about Edmund Camper, if you know who that is.
okay. Yes.
Yes, a serial killer that started killing. I think that the first victim was actually his grandma, then it was his grandpa, and he finished it off with his mom. So I think
Mm.
that had kind of a, I don't know why he did that, but it seemed planned, that he hated his mother for his whole life almost. And I thought that after he killed her, he was done, that he killed all of those people only because he wanted to kill her but didn't have the guts.
Yeah. And then finally built up the guts to do it.
Yes, because after he done that, he called the police and confessed to everything.
It's some kind of sick mind. Well, let me ask you, you've gotten so interested in doing these kind of stories. Have you thought about maybe becoming a detective yourself?
Whew. That thought never crossed my mind actually, because here in Slovakia we don't have detectives. We only have policemen, and our policemen don't do great job when it comes to missing people or murdered people. They aren't interested. I think one case in particular, it was that one woman was found in our capital city in Bratislava, and she was found around a couple years ago. And it was obvious that someone did something to her, that it wasn't a suicide, it wasn't her fault. And I think that around last week, they ruled it out as a suicide.
So I know where to go if I need to kill somebody.
Definitely. Definitely. Yes, you're true. You're absolutely right. I actually talked about that with my friend, I think last week, that if you want to kill someone or if you want to become a serial killer or something, Slovakia is the place to go because policemen here aren't interested. They just want the work to be done, not done, but for them done. And they just sweat everything under the rug and they're good to go. I wanted to ask you something. What
Sure.
is your, if you have one, what is your favorite case?
Ooh, my favorite case. That's hard to say, being that there's there's so much evil behind so many of them. I was always kind of fascinated with, of course, Manson or Richard Ramirez. The stuff that happened when I was a kid. Those, I guess that's the only reason why they really fascinated me, because they happened around the time I was, in my childhood. The Gacy's and Ted Bundy's and all that. That was all part of my lifetime.
So
Um,
serial killers.
yeah, I think so. Serial killers they kind of,
And have you
I don't,
watched the, it isn't a documentary, it is like it is a movie. It
hmm
is played by Zac Efron. He
yes,
played Ted Bundy. Have you seen
yes,
that?
I have seen that. Yeah, I
And what do
watched
you say?
that. That was kind of the way it was. I mean, women found him attractive, and it's like they've totally forgot the heinous things that the man did. They just didn't want to believe it. And I guess that goes to show, when you got somebody that is good looking, they think, oh, well, this person couldn't do it. But then you got somebody that's not so good looking, then they're quick to point the finger and say, oh, yeah, that guy did it. He did it. Or she did it.
Yeah. That's true. I just I just wanted to add that they chose the most perfect actor that they could have chosen because Zac Efron is my crush since I was 9 years old, since I watched the first High School Musical. And when true crime, the thing I love, and Zac Efron, the man I love for almost my entire life, were put together, I mean, that is like dream coming true for me.
All right. So now I just got to get a hold of Zach and send him your way, huh?
Oh, please. That
I'll,
would be,
can't make any
I don't even
promises, but
have,
I'll try.
I don't even have words for that. I mean, I truly loved him when he was Troy Bolton, and in the first High School Musical, he wasn't even singing the songs that were there. And I even convinced my classmates in my senior year to dance to High School Musical at our prom.
Wow.
So I love it even now.
Now, have you seen the one called Monster with Charlize Theron?
I haven't.
Okay, so God, can't believe I forgot the lady's name, but there was a lady. She was a prostitute,
Hmm.
and she would get these men, and she'd get them alone, and then she'd kill them and rob them and that kind of thing. Um, for her excuse being that she had been abused and all this stuff, which, I mean, I totally understand. You have problems when you have been abused, but it still doesn't give you the right to take somebody else's life.
Yes, exactly. Being abused and having a traumatizing childhood isn't an excuse to take a life.
So, are you familiar with the Richard Ramirez case?
Uh, I have heard about it, but I know that he is like really famous, and this case was like everywhere. But I don't usually look into like mainstream cases.
Gotcha. Well, if you do, I mean, he was known as the Night Stalker,
Yeah.
California. I want to say early '80s, if I'm not mistaken.
It's a Netflix documentary about that right now, isn't it?
You know what there is, and I have not watched it yet.
Me
I
neither.
I have to catch up with my serial killers.
But one is very interesting. I don't know if you heard of Anatoly Moskich.
No.
He's from Russia, or was, I don't know if he's still alive. And he was pretty mentally ill, and he dug up graves, and he would take those bodies and transform them into dolls, and he would live with them.
Oh my gosh.
I think Eleanor Neale covered that. Do you know Eleanor Neale?
No, I can't say that I do.
She's from Britain, and she's, I think, one of the most successful true crime YouTubers as of now. And she covered that a couple months ago, and ooh, I mean, I saw a couple of pictures, and I had a nightmare about that. It's it's cruel, and if you have stomach for that, look it up. It's pretty interesting. And he has done that to his to a lot of his life.
Oh,
Uh, she died, and he dug her body up. She was the first. I can't say victim because he didn't kill them. He just dug their bodies out.
yeah, that's still creepy enough. And that's a crime.
Of course, but I think they couldn't give him a sentence for murder or something to be in jail for the rest of his life because he didn't hurt anyone.
But
He
desecrated a
just,
grave.
yes, yes, but he physically didn't hurt anyone. And I don't honestly know the laws in Russia, but he couldn't get a lifetime.
That's
And
crazy.
he was mentally ill, and I don't know what illnesses he had, but it was a lot. And even if you look at him in a picture, he seems off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it's important for people to know that if they're going to watch your show, that it's not just about serial killers and that kind of thing. So, you've done, missing people
Yeah.
and crime, and like murder and things like that. But what all would you put in your show?
Mm. Hmm. I honestly, well, I kind of lost words.
Okay. Well, then
Could
what would you not put in your show? Let me ask that question.
I wouldn't really dive into the paranormal stuff just out of respect, and maybe
Wait, you trying to say
the
I don't have respect?
I'm not saying that, but I see it in the way that I want to respect those ghosts, and from I want to respect them because everyone will come across them one time, and when it's my turn, I want them to be nice to me. So I won't dive into that, and definitely won't dive into the cases that have been covered a million of times, like Madeleine Mccann, and what's like biggest was the big case. Madeleine Mccann is the example that I always give, and the Morse murders and stuff like that that has been covered over and over and over.
Right.
But I have covered the royal family conspiracy theories, where is a conspiracy theory about Princess Diana that has been covered like a trillion times. So
Hey, sometimes it's good to pull those back up, though. Get a little more
yeah,
attention.
I think that yeah, and I think that it's honestly the most powerful conspiracy theory in the world. And a lot of people still think that the royal family actually had something to do with Diana's death. And it's up to everyone what they take from it. But I have recently watched another conspiracy theory, and there's a little boy. He is like 4 year or 5 years old, and he claims that he is Princess Diana, that he was Princess Diana in his um, life before, and he talks about things that even people that really knew Diana didn't know of. He talks about how he liked going to Scotland, how he liked going to a castle, and on the castle, there was like a sign with horses or something like that in it, and that are there are horses on the sign and on the castle. So the boy knows stuff that it's impossible to 4 year old to know, and he knows it, and he talks about it, and I don't know, but that kind of is a reason why to believe that reincarnation is real.
Well, there's what we call past life regression.
Hmm.
And what it is you'll have someone that's an expert in that field that will hip put you in a hypnotic state, and then will take you back into another life, and
Hmm.
so you actually relive this life. And I'll tell you, I was one of those people. I didn't believe in that kind of stuff. I just figured, they hypnotized you and then they gave you some suggestions and you went from there,
Yeah.
until I actually tried it. Okay, so I have done this and actually pulled up a life that I lived a long time ago, and then something a little more recent. But irregardless of whether it's real or not, which I'm going to say it is, but you may say different,
I agree.
um, it it changes your life. It makes you see things
Most definitely.
differently. So if you ever wanted to kind of delve into that, I can get you hooked up with somebody, the person that helped me do my regression. She could talk to you about it.
It would be really interesting, definitely really interesting, but I hope that it would like change my opinion about the living right now, or it would change my whole life, and I don't think I'm ready for that yet. But
You're
it
not
would
ready for
be,
that.
I don't think I am, because when something happened in the past, it should stay in the past. That's just what I think. And
Well,
that life had ended because something had happened to me or my past me, and I think I want my past me to rest in peace.
well, not saying that you need to go do this past life regression, but if you want information on past lives, I can get you in touch with a person that can help you with that if you're
And does it
interested.
really work? Because the whole um experiencing the past life, I think that only not only kids have that, but mainly kids have that till they are around 10 or 8 or blah, 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 I can speak, 8 or 10 years old. And see, when they are around that age, they start to like experience their own lives, because I think no one remembers anything when they were younger than that. And till that age, they just kind of live as the person that they were, if they remember that, of course. There was also this one boy who remembered everything from a World War I, his friends, his co-army friends, and the fight and the weapons and everything. And when he was around 12 years old, he didn't remember any of that.
Wow. Well, I think that's why you go through this kind of hypnotic trance where it helps you to focus so you will remember these things. Because I'm like you, maybe after a certain age, you just kind of forget about those things. And so if you want to be reminded of them, you can go do one of these sessions. And I say you don't have to necessarily go do it yourself, but if you'd like, the information on it, I would love to get you in touch with this person. They could talk to you about it, and it might help you with doing your show.
And can they do that like via internet?
They can do that over the internet. Yes.
Yeah, wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. I've never heard about hypnosis over the internet.
Yeah. This actually, she's in New Jersey,
Hmm.
which is even by plane you're talking hours and hours. So say hours and hours, probably about 4 hours. So if
Yeah,
you,
that's a lot.
it's still a lot for me. It is, but
Yeah,
there's so many mysteries out there that we have yet to uncover, and past lives or crime. I mean, you're talking no nobody still knows who Jack the Ripper is.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, it happened around that time where the technology wasn't the best,
Hmm.
and the DNA samples to this day, I think that they aren't relevant anymore, and the person have definitely died, had definitely passed away, and he or she, because I think it could be a woman, why not? They have passed away without ever being caught, and that's amazing. I don't mean amazing as the person is amazing, but how he manipulated everything and how he did everything. That must have been he had, or they had to have it pretty figured out. Like every murder, they had to figure it out so no one would get to them, and that's amazing.
So I mean, I don't want to put too much on you, but there's so much to explore beyond just crime that it's a mystery. Hence the
Yeah,
reason I want you to see that Unsolved Mystery show, so you could see all these wonderful UFOs. You know, there's more evidence coming out all the time. The government has finally, over here in the United States, admitted that there's UFOs. They finally admitted it. And why this is not a bigger story, I don't know. But I
I
mean,
actually didn't heard that the government confirmed something like that.
I actually have a news clip where they talked about how they finally admitted to it. So, and it's not just an independent news. I'm talking a major news company that put this story out,
Hmm.
but yet nobody's talking about it. Why is nobody talking about it? We
I
still
don't know.
don't
I
believe
have
it.
heard this for maybe, but I have heard it for the first time. I've never heard that. And when they say something like this, like finally came out with something like that, many people I think would ask, well, what else were you hiding or are you hiding still? And when are you going to talk about all of that?
See, you could be the next superstar when it comes to solving mysteries.
Well, I honestly don't think that I will be the one solving this, but if someone solved that and just texted me the whole thing, I would be so glad to get it out to the world, but I would have to have a better watch time than I have now.
Now, have you had any thoughts of maybe moving somewhere like the United States or another country to maybe pursue something maybe like detective work?
Honestly, I haven't, and I think that if I wanted to move to the US, it would be a process for years. I don't know how it works, honestly, the green card and all of that, and I don't want to get married for 3 years to a stranger to get a green card.
Now, I wasn't suggesting, okay?
I know, I know. I was just joking, but I don't know. A lot of years I thought about moving to the UK, But now when Brexit happens and everything, it would be harder to get into the UK. And I haven't quite searched it and how things changed. But I considered London for a long time for a college, but it costs a lot. It There are like couple of $1,000s or pounds every year, and students loans. I mean, to be in a debt when I'm in my 20s, I it's not for normal people. Like my parents don't earn thousands of dollars every or euros every month, so we can't afford that. And I really didn't want to get a student loan or something, since colleges in Slovakia are free.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, of course we have some private ones, but the state ones are free.
Okay. But they don't have anything on detective work.
I don't think we have a major no, no, no,
See?
no, no, no. Only thing we have is like a forensic department kind of thing, but you would have to be a doctor for that, and or a policeman.
And you don't care
Nothing
for
in
either, huh?
between. Our policemen here are, well, I don't want to curse, so they're
Okay.
dumbasses. They are everything, but they have like they on their cars they have like an quote that says save and protect. They don't do either of that.
They don't do
They
either.
just no, 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 no. I think that police brutality is slowly coming here
Yeah.
too.
You could be the one to change that.
Maybe once, but I don't think that I would have the nerve to talk to them about everything, because when you want to become someone in this country, you'll either have to have money or you have to be involved in non-legal activities.
Gotcha. So, is your plan to maybe make the YouTube channel your career, or are you looking to do something else? Because I know a lot of people that do YouTube for a living.
I currently study management, and I would love to have a work that would uh, obviously earn a lot of money. Everyone wants that, but a work that would satisfy me and that I wouldn't come uh, home at Friday and being like, oh my God, finally weekend. Just not be so exhausted from my work. If this whole thing, if this YouTube thing will get to the point that it would cover my bases, it would cover my living,
Hmm.
I would be so happy for that. But it isn't my main goal. My main goal is just to do what I like,
Hmm.
and only if it earns only a couple of euros a month, I would be happy. Maybe when I will work, I won't have that much time for that, and maybe I would have to, I don't know, maybe post like one video a week, not like two or three that I do now. But it is it is a long race, and I have only started like a month or month and a half ago, and I still have a lot to learn, a lot to give to people, I think.
Hmm.
And I just hope that people would watch me.
Well, I find it very interesting. We're definitely going to promote you the best that we can. So when this,
That's so sweet.
oh, well, now you can marry me. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Like my kids are older than her, so, but no,
I can
seriously,
finally go to the US.
you can finally go to the U.S. I have to get divorced first, and I don't think my kids are for that. Um, but no, we want to definitely promote you. And at the end of the show, I want you to give everybody your YouTube and the social media that you share out your videos on. And if you will email me all the links to everything, I can put that in the description so people can just click on it and go straight to it. And
Yeah, definitely. I will, because I don't think that so far the views are the problem, because as I talk to other channels that are starting, and they have a lot less views than I have, so I don't think views are the problem. But you don't know how much actually people watch, because when I first started, I thought that one view was like for the entire video, and I was so mistaken by that, because I counted the watch time, the hours that I had, and I had like 3 videos out, a couple hundred views, and I was like, yes, now I have 700 views hours, and I was thinking like, oh, the first 1,000, it wouldn't be that hard to get. But when I downloaded a YouTube Studio app, and when I saw how much people are actually watching for my videos, I have right now around 3,000 views in total, but the watch time is really low, and people watch around 2 minutes from every video, which is a really small amount. So I try to work on the quality of my videos. I have bought where is my finger? This thing right here, which I think it helped, kind of. And I hope that with the better quality, maybe people would watch more.
I can tell you that it's not so much the quality of the video. Uh, a lot of people are more into watching, you know, people doing reactions to other videos, or, people just acting stupid,
Hmm.
doing stupid things. Um, just stick to the audience that you're looking for, which of course is the true crime and the mysteries. Stay true to it,
Yeah,
even if it takes you a long time. Don't deviate from what you're doing. As soon as you try to be somebody else, then it'll fall apart, or you'll
yeah, yeah, yeah.
either that, or you'll, as they say, lose your soul, because you try to be like somebody else and you forget who you are and what you like and what you have to offer. um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Something like that. My friend has told me that I since I do true crime, it is a topic that not everyone is interested in. And of course, I would maybe have more views or more people on my channel if I did, I don't know, if I had like, I don't know, some really stupid things, like that guy that shoots his Tesla, and he has like 10,000, 10 million views on that. And I mean, how
mhm.
can people watch something like that? It's like a guy takes a gun and shoots at his Tesla, and the Tesla just blows up. I mean, wow, content on the biggest level possible.
Yeah, well, there's some that you'll sit there and you'll watch people just stuff their faces and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat. And people like that for some reason. I don't understand. Or they eat weird things like Tide Pods. I don't understand. But everybody has their likes and their dislikes, and we try to stay true to what we think people would like. And if you do, great. If you don't, hey, that's fine too. Just stay true to yourself.
Yes, yes, yes. That's also what I was thinking. I tried it. I wanted to try it for a really long time, and now I've tried it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, well, I move on with my life. Nothing happened. At least I tried it.
Do it for yourself. That's the first
Yeah.
thing. And when people get to know you and they start to like you for you, then they will like your content. But they got to get to know you first. That's why you got to be yourself.
Yeah, but I don't think that you can truly be yourself in the true crime because you talk about a story or a thing that has happened. You don't really give much of yourself into that. Of course, you can put it differently, you can say the sentences differently, but you don't put much of yourself into that, into the story. You can change it, it happened, and yes, you can give your opinion, but giving opinions right now is very controversial. But if you do something like makeup, or you do vlogs, or you do just talking about yourself, yes, of course, then people like you for who you are. But when you do true crime, you're just referencing the things that had happened, and there's no place to put yourself in that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you give the information out the way that you feel that you should give it out. In other words, you don't want to come out in a string bikini doing true crime. You know what I mean?
Yes, maybe I would turn into those Twitch streamers.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to do that kind of stuff. You be presentable, and you speak in the manner that you feel that you need to. You give the information out as you need to, and you wouldn't want to come out here telling jokes while you're doing true crime stories. That's what I mean. You'll see there's
Yeah.
people out there that do stuff like that just to get the attention. Do it the way you feel you need to do it.
Yes, I'm doing that, and I hope that I will stick to that, that I won't get overwhelmed by people.
Okay, so it's kind of sticking along that subject. What would be the one thing that would make you just give this up tomorrow?
If someone comes to me and will say, I have a job opportunity for you, you will earn 1,000 euros a day and you wouldn't have to move a finger, but you will have to quit YouTube. Done.
Good answer. I think I would do
I
that
was
too.
I was joking, but I don't know. I don't know. I maybe if I saw that I would give energy to those videos and I would give my time, and that no one will watch those videos, no one will comment, no one will like them, and I see engagement. I have a couple comments on my videos, which is so, like, it's the best feeling when someone comments on the video with like, oh my god, you're great, the story was great, and it really warms my heart. And one comment was actually that saying, I love your makeup, and that was honestly so great. It made my whole day.
I love your makeup. That was me. No.
Oh, thank you.
No, but all kidding aside, you do put out great content, and you don't have to be flashy to do it. You get the point out there, and I'll have to say you don't think you do, but you're doing wonderful with the English. So
Oh, thank you so much.
yeah, you're awesome, and you never know what kind of opportunities are going to come up from doing these kind of things. So
Yes, like, I mean, this podcast came from nothing. And at first, I thought that you were joking when you invited me here. But when couple days later, I think another podcast contacted me. And by then I was like, wow, like these things are really happening,
hmm
and people are really inviting me into this stuff that was unreal to me 2 months ago, and this is like pretty big accomplishment for me. I'm really looking forward to what this YouTube thing will bring me next.
and I will say that these things come in waves. You're going to have your high points, and then you're going to have your low points, and but you just never give up. Don't ever get discouraged. I mean, there's been times when I'm like, nobody's watching my videos, nobody cares. Why am I doing this? But I just love it, so I'm going to keep doing it. And then the next thing you know, I'm getting lots and lots of views, and something that 1,600 views to me is a big deal. But there's people that are, they've got millions of followers, and they get more than that in the first 5 minutes of their video. That's fine.
When I got my
Whatever.
first 100 subscribers, that was like a celebration
It should be.
almost. Because that I think 100 and 1,000 subscribers are like the biggest milestones, because the 100 is like the starting point and the 1,000 is saying like you matter to those people that
Mhm.
watch you. So do it if you don't do it for yourself, because I mean sometimes we all have like a day that we don't even want to get out of bed, but do it for those people that watch you, because those people got you where you are now, and those people are the reason why you are earning from what you love.
Mhm.
And that's why I honestly don't get the big YouTubers being rude to their fans. If they don't have the fans, they don't have money.
That's
There's
true.
the symbiosis between those two things. And I think that people that are doing stuff like this should always be grateful for those people who watch them or follow them.
That's right. Be true to yourself, and be true to the people that are following you, because
Yes,
you've got an audience, and when you start treating them wrong, it's all over. I don't care how much money you make. There's people out there that have done some horrid things on their videos, and they get so many down votes and so many bad reviews or comments, and yet they're making money because it's engagement. It's still bringing
yes,
people back.
yeah, they make money, but when those people are full of it, they will stop watching them and they will stop earning money. It's all about those people.
Mhm. Well, all I can say is I appreciate you, and I really enjoy the content, and I've learned some things that I did not know before.
Thank you. That's honestly so sweet to hear and so good to hear that someone really watched that. I mean, I still don't believe the numbers that are there, that that amount of people clicked on video that I have created. That
I want to
that's
watch.
just that's just really unreal to me. The whole experience so far, it is like almost 2 months now, and it is I don't honestly have words for that, how amazing that is.
So you're doing that good in 2 months. Just imagine what a year from now is going to look like.
I hope that I will still love it as much as I do now.
Well, I hope so too, because it makes my day. I don't like hearing about people getting killed now. Don't get me wrong, but it's interesting. I love learning new things. So if people want to follow you on social media, on YouTube, how do they go about that?
Everything is just Sofa Stories. YouTube is Sofa Stories. Instagram is sofa.stories, because Sofa Stories is already an account. But I have sofa.stories. If they want to contact me via email, it's sofastories.ytb, like YouTube, the shortcut, at gmail.com. And I also have TikTok, but I don't use it that often. But it's also Sofa Stories. But I mainly use my Instagram account.
Gotcha. Something that I've learned, and I'm not a big TikTok person. Um,
Me neither.
take
I downloaded it only because of this YouTube channel. I've never had it
Yeah.
as a personal account, and I hope I would never have.
Well, take about a 35-second clip out of your video, post it
I'm
on
actually doing
TikTok.
that.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
gets
yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah.
I get a lot more views on TikTok than I do on Instagram or Facebook or anywhere else, and I don't know why, because it's not my favorite platform.
No, but a lot of people are there, and currently it is like, I think, the biggest social media platform there is.
I believe it. Everybody's turning away from the Twitter and all that stuff. Well, people are getting so nasty on Twitter. I don't know what it's like on TikTok, but I'm just
Me
tired of
neither, and I don't wanna
tired.
I don't wanna get into that.
Exactly. All right. So if you will, please email me all the links
Yeah,
so
of course.
I want to be able to post those in the description. And so
Yes.
I appreciate you taking the time to be on the show. It's pretty early there, isn't it? Or is it late? I forget. No, you're ahead of me. You're what, 7 hours, eight
Yes,
hours?
I have 5:12 p.m. currently.
It's supper time. Time to go eat. It ain't even lunchtime here yet, so barely past breakfast.
Our hockey team in my city is playing semifinals in our cup at 6 p.m. So I'm heading over to my friend to watch hockey.
Sweet. That's my favorite sport.
Mine too. I really love hockey, and our team is in semifinals after I don't know how many years. So it's really exciting, and I hope they win. I hope they win.
Well, we'll put the good juju out there for you then.
Thanks.
All right. Well, thank you again. And we look forward to seeing more of your content. And please keep in contact.
Yes, thank you so much for inviting me. It was I had such a good time, and really thanks for this opportunity. It was great.
Thank you. And for everybody that's watching or listening to us, thank you for your support. And we will catch you on the next one.
Po boy.